I was thinking about Channel Z Talkback, right? And I used to walk up to the, whatever it was, the 8th floor. You were
Yes.
doing Talkback there. And
Yeah,
then I'd
yeah,
go
yeah,
upstairs
yeah.
one floor and I'd do more FM.
That's right.
And I remember that you used to say something to fire off the telecom sensors, something like bomb, terrorist. What were the 3 words you'd say? And there was some system that would track those words when it hit on the telecom phone systems.
Echelon. Yes, Echelon would pick up keywords. It was one of the very early 5i programs that was established in New Zealand. And so they would scan all the time. And so I just throw out someone, let's just, everyone just, Bush, bomb, terrorist. Everyone just keeps saying that every time and freak the system out.
And so people would phone up Bomber, and Bomber would go, "G'day, Pat," and Pat would go, "Bush bomb terrorist. G'day, Marty. How are you, mate?" It was like that, and it used to take the system down, didn't it? I remember times where telecom went down. Bad man.
Oh Jesus! I'm surprised they allowed me to live. I really am.
The reason I bring that up is last night we were talking about this new rule for petrol tax, road user charges, and I pay road user charges. I drive an EV. It's a very simple system. I get towards the end of what I've paid for. I then go online. I put another 10,000 Ks in or 5,000 Ks and I pay for it. The police pull me over, and it has happened once, and they look at my warrant of fitness, which has got the Ks that I paid on it, and they want to see my odometer, and they see that I've paid for the Ks so far. When Bishop yesterday started to talking about receiving your bill like you would an electricity bill, we're sitting here, me and Ems last night, going, hang on, if they're sending us the information as to how far we're driven, that would mean they have to track us. How? And I was of the opinion last night, Fana will tell you, that I was like, there's 3.5 million cars. It doesn't feel realistic that we can set up a system where we'll all be tracked. Surely something's been lost in translation. Well, what was lost in translation was they are going to try and track 3.5 million cars. This is 75 seconds from breakfast this morning when the Bish was talking about it. And there was a particular line where they say the system, this is the quote, that works out where you are and what you're doing. So for this system to work, this government, who remember, this government are the ones that talked about the guys before them who were Orwellian in their control. This government wants all of us to have in our cars a system that will, quote, know where you are and what you're doing. Who thinks, hands up people, who thinks maybe you'll be getting some, at 1:48 a.m. you're doing 62 in a 50 zone. We know that because we're tracking you. Here's your speeding ticket. So let's just have a listen. I've kind of blown it all, but let's have a listen to Bish actually explaining that. Because I was not convinced until I heard him actually say it.
Really interesting conversation this morning with AA's Terry Collins. Bish, he was talking about the electronic monitoring, and he's got issues around that, or concerns, I should say, because this is being, the management of this is being put out to a third party, right? So what about the data that is being collected by this electronic monitoring? Who owns that? It's a privacy issue.
It will be, ultimately, the standards will be set by the government. And there'll be potentially a range of competing providers. And I get the concerns around privacy, and we'll be engaging as part of the policy work with the Privacy Commissioner around that, because I understand exactly what people are concerned about. But to be honest, other countries have got this now, right? So if you're in Sydney, put a little transponder on your dashboard. That works out where you are and what you're doing, and then when you go through a toll gantry, it just gives a little beep, and it charges you. It charges your credit card, and you pay at the end of the week or the month or whatever. Sydney, other countries, jurisdictions, they've had that for over a decade. So we're actually miles behind the rest of the world, and some of these concerns around privacy and tracking and things like that, we're really conscious about that, and we're going to work our way through that really carefully to protect against all that stuff.
So it works out where you are and what you're doing. A little thing that just sits on your dashboard.
Yep.
And you go through the toll and it sees you. Okay, so what happens if you live in rural Southland? You're not going to go through a toll and it's going to see you. How are they going to track you? Oh, because it speaks straight to a satellite.
That's right.
And sends
That's
it.
right.
Ah, so you are literally this.
Yes.
Okay. Conspiracy theorists who voted in fucking Winston Peters. This is the chip that you were worried about. This is the chip that they're going to put in your car to know where you are and what you're doing. This is the time to take all those tinfoil hat wearing conservative blimmin' concerns and actually go, shit, it wasn't in the vaccine. It's going to be on my dashboard. This is the time to activate.
When I was doing the debates last year for the election, end of last year, and I couldn't work out, because I kept asking questions of the candidates, particularly the National Party candidates, because I'd read the policy, and it just seemed to me that their entire shtick was privatising the roads, right?
Yeah.
That the National were fully focused on privatising the roads, lifting the speed limits to pretend that productivity would get better, and then just police it viciously, right? And what we've been seeing with the face recognition cameras that have been set up on all the motorways that now have this, you know, this third-party access to the police. There's been all of these questions. Well, why are you setting up the surveillance? Why are you doing this? Why? Now we have the Bush saying, "Oh, it'll just be as easy as putting the little bleep on it." This is all part of their privatisation agenda, pushing poor people off the roads, because if you're wealthy enough, you don't mind paying to be able to get to and from something quickly. Taking the money off the petrol, will we really see that money drop as much as I doubt that. We wanted those petrol charges put in place, and we wanted people to have electric cars so that they didn't have to pay the costs, because we wanted more people in electric cars. You want to incentivize people buying electric cars. So there are real questions over, and exactly as Jenny May was pointing out there, who owns this data? Who has access to that data? Can that data be hacked? Will Peter Thiel be running that data? Is he going to be putting, you know, the kind of power that access would give, that level of data, knowing where you go, how you go, who you're seeing, where you're going. That data is so huge in terms of mining potential, and there's no way you can trust the government with that kind of Orwellian power, particularly if they're just going to hand it over to a third party, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. And like I said, if they know, and I'm going to use the quote again from the Bush, where you are and what you're doing, what door does that open up to?
Of course.
So I'm actually a little bit in shock. I feel a bit dumb after what I said last night. Although we did talk this out, I just can't see how it would work. But
I think they've been pushing for this.
It.
They have been pushing for this direction for a long time. There are so many spiders and spooks in the intelligence apparatus that are just drooling over the possibility of what this would do. You know, you're able to police in real time an entire population. That's an enormous amount of power to give one government. You know.